Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Hello and welcome to Countryside here on Manx Radio. I'm Simon Clark.
And I'm Kirree Kermode. This week we catch up with the new Federation of Young Farmers Committee.
And we went along to the launch of seeing Manx meat on the Tesco shelves. We spoke to Tim Baker, member of the Isle of Man Meats, and also to the chef who was displaying his wares outside. Well, great. We've got a wonderful chat coming up with the whole new committee of the Federation of Young Farmers here on the Isle of Man, haven't we? There's new chairman, new vice chairman, new secretary, new treasurer, which is quite unusual for them to all change at once, isn't it?
It is very unusual, but a few of them have been in the leadership positions for a little while. Finlow has always been at the forefront there, Finlow Kirree, for the last 5 or 6 years. They're really, really determined to keep the young farmers going. It's such an old-fashioned title, isn't it? Young farmers, when nowadays it's everybody can get involved. You not have to be from the agricultural background. It's lovely to hear what they have planned for the year.
It is, and of course a big day last week outside Tesco, wasn't there? There was lots going on. The minister was there, Tim Baker was there, and you were there as well with a lot of the people from Isle of Man Meats, weren't you?
It was a really, really great day for the Manx farming community and everybody involved with the meat industry. And to be very, very proud as well, having the Manx meat back on the Tesco shelves. It's been absent for a number of years now, but to see it back there, it was a very special moment, not only for the people at Isle of Man Meats, but even some producers came in attendance, and all of the MHKs were so very proud of what the agricultural community have brought to the shelves again. It's very important. And one person that's been heavily involved is Tim Baker, MHK, the chairman of Isle of Man Meats, and we caught up with him to see his views.
Absolutely delighted. It's a key day for this. I mean, obviously the history has been well documented, and the fact that we've not been selling Manx meat in Tesco's for several years, we set out intentionally to address that, and 18 months of hard work. I'm absolutely delighted to be stood here today, and I think this is really significant for the countryside and for Manx farming.
Now, you must be particularly delighted, Tim, because when you come on board with the Isle of Man Meats, the committee and the department there, you secured a deal off island with a company, and now this. So it's been some giant leaps in the last year or so, hasn't there? Absolutely.
It's this is a business turnaround, and you have to do it in stages. The first stage we did by taking it back into public ownership and getting the pricing back to the farmers correct, so that meant that we had the supply to come through the plant. The next key point was getting the right management team in, and we've got Phil Parsons and Jodie running the business. Absolutely excellent. Strength of the team with bringing likes of Kirree in to strengthen the procurement side. But fundamentally, you need to be able to sell this product. So we'd secured the ability to bring the stock in and to process it. But it's about connecting to the customer, and our strategy that we put together as a team identified we needed to broaden our routes to market. We did that initially off island with the Northgate Foods relationship, which is going really, really well. And now we've got the on-island distribution filling the gap with Tesco, which is, clearly it's been a big gap, and not taking anything away from our established relationships with other retailers on the island and the butchers, which are very, very important to us. But we had to fill this gap.
Yeah, well, of course, we will mention ShopRite. They've been a part of it and supporting the Manx meat for a long time as well. And how did you manage to get these ones involved? Also
Tesco. Yeah, well, it's been about establishing the credibility of the business, making sure that everything was done to the highest standards. Obviously the BRC grade A accreditation that the team secured recently was important, but it's about working with your customers. It's about understanding their needs and also communicating the value that's in the product. So the high quality of the Manx meat, the low food miles, the low use of antibiotics, the traceability, those things that are really, really important, together with obviously the understanding of the impact on the local economy and the health of the farming sector. And for somebody like Tesco, with a very conscious of the brand, they see the value in local supply, and we've got a great product for them now, and it's very much a professional partnership arrangement.
Yeah, for the other people who worry about live exports and things like that, will this help to combat that even more, because there'll be more staying on the island?
Absolutely. I mean, we've we've had a big uplift in throughput through the plant and a reduction in live exports already. The better we can get our sales capability, the more we can take from the farmers, and the less the need is for animals to go off island. So this is good news all round. And the way we look at the business is very much, it takes into account not only the effect on the farming community and on Isle of Man Meat's finances, but actually also the impact on live exports as well. We've got a range in store today of obviously lamb and beef and various roasting joints, shoulder, leg, etc. But this is very much a starter for 10, and we want to develop that in partnership with Tesco. So we're looking at what the next stage and how we can broaden the product range, because people don't eat joints every day of the week, but mince and dice, etc. The cheaper cuts are things that we want to bring into the range. But it's important to get the relationship started, and that's what we've done today, which is great news.
Maciek, you've had a busy day here at Tesco's with Isle of Man Meats. What have you been doing cooking up today?
I used today 2 Manx type of meat. One was beef and one was lamb, and then a lamb and to the navarine of lamb. What is it was a French lamb stew.
And it is quite light, isn't it? Compared to the British lamb stew, we'd have a lot more thick gravy. This is quite a light dish.
It is a quite light dish, but also it's very nice and tasty, very tender. And then it's like natural gravy done from vegetables and the meat, and has been cooked on the very low temperature for quite a long time. Also, you can do at home or use the slow cooker.
Yeah. And how have you found the quality of the beef and the lamb that you've used?
It's one of the top quality what I used so far in my career, and very nice, fresh, and cooked to perfection. It's very nice, tender, and so tasty.
Yeah. And how have you found it interacting with the public at Tesco? Has it been quite a positive day?
It is very well positive day, but some people been. It's something new. Was a lot of people because they not been fancy for beginning walk through to the Tesco, try some food, but when they finish the shopping, they see in the shop the Manx meat is back on the shelf, and they try some, and some of them come back and to buy some as well.
That's always a good thing. But it has been bitterly cold today, so the stews have definitely been the belly filler.
Yeah, that was today. Yeah, that was a top dish today. Make the people warm and hold the customer around.
That was Maciek, Isle of Man Meats chef, and Tim Baker, MHK and chairman of Isle of Man Meats.
You're listening to Countryside here on Manx Radio with Kirree Kermode and myself, Simon Clark. Well, as we mentioned at the start of the programme, all new at the Federation of Young Farmers here on the Isle of Man, and we were lucky enough to get all 4 of them up into the studio to have a chat with us about how they're looking forward to the year ahead. Bryony Neal is the new secretary, Hannah Moore, the new treasurer, the Vice Chairman, Stevie Corran, and also the current Chairman that was elected for this year, Finn Locrier. It's quite a big organisation, isn't it? It's not just the Isle of Man that is involved with this. You have to deal with a lot of UK federations and even further afield than that, I'd imagine, at times.
Well, the Young Farmers Federation is a huge movement, but it's not about farming anymore. There's a lot of people from all walks of life getting involved. But they do great things for charities, the environment. They've got lots of ideas and plans for that. But also the exchanges. You make lifelong friends. And I know that the Isle of Man Young Farmers have got an exchange coming up, which will be always great to hear about.
But one of the roles that's been filled for quite a number of years by Kelly Keenan, that's been taken over by Hannah Moore this year. And Hannah, it's big shoes to fill.
It is, definitely, after so long as well. Kelly's done a great job, but with a great team beside me, I think we've got a good year ahead. Yeah,
and it is a quite a lot, I suppose, going on in when you're treasurer, because there is a lot of events that you are raising money for lots of charities, isn't there?
Yeah, so it's not just being involved, obviously, like behind the scenes and sorting all the invoices and things like that out. But yeah, when we are doing sponsorship or raising money for charity, it's being out there and collecting the money and presenting it to the charities at the end of the year, and we've got a lot of charity work coming up in the next couple of months as well. So, kickstart the role with a busy few months.
Yeah, but you're looking forward to the challenge of it, though.
Yeah, definitely. And as I said, Kelly's always there to still help us, and we've got a great team.
Bryony Neal is our new Secretary of the Federation of Young Farmers. You've been assistant for a couple of years now, Bryony. Are you looking forward to taking on the main role?
Yeah, bit daunting, but big boots to fill because Hayley's done such a good job over the last 3 years. But yeah, like I can only echo what Hannah said. We've got such a good team this year. We're all like pretty good friends, really good friends, in fact. So together we can hopefully push some new ideas and exciting things to the members and get the young farmers out there even more. So carrying on what Hayley did basically. So yeah, it's looking forward to it. But nervous but excited. So it'll be good.
And it's one of those things, that it's been part of the Isle of Man. Even when I was growing up, the Young Farmers Federation, not quite so many farmers in it now. Does that make it a little more difficult?
No, not really, because it's not just about farming. There's lots of different things that we do that isn't, related to farming, but it is a good way to introduce them to things, because some people don't have, a clue about what Young Farmers is like, what goes on a farm, so it's about educating people as well into that. And like lots of people, they don't have a clue. They get into it and they find actually they want to be involved more so, in working or like educational things. So, it's great. It's, getting our reach out there to not just the farming community, because people in the farming community sort of know what we're about, really. So, yeah, introducing it to more people is all we sort of strive for as well. So it's good, yeah.
And it's great how the Young Farmers, they do things monthly, weekly, even, netball. It's a weekly sport. It's a big high-profile event on the Isle of Man every Sunday morning. And you guys, you always strive to put a team in that each year too.
Yeah, definitely. We've got 2 teams this year in different leagues, and they're doing well. Yeah, we get good support and everything. And it's not just the netball. We've got the rugby, so we try and get a few games. Obviously, the Paul Cleland Memorial match on Boxing Day, which is always really well supported, a great event. And then we try and get maybe 1 or 2 matches against the police or the fire services and stuff. So yeah, it's great. It's not just about farming, like you say, so there's a good mix of everything for everyone.
Yeah, and let's turn to the chairman for this year, Finlo Kirree. You've had a year learning under I suppose lots of past chairmans, and Charlie Corkle was the chairman last year, so you sort of, I suppose, do you shadow them and keep a close eye of what their roles involve?
Well, I've done it before anyway, but yeah, sort of, yeah.
All right. How have you got in for a second term then?
Well,
hey?
I don't know.
He's a good leader.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. But yeah, it's just all muck in together, and as long as you got a good group, it's pretty plain sailing. It's just.
Yeah, well, of course, you're heavily involved still in the farming side of it, and you've got the team around you that some aren't involved in the agricultural side in particular. So I suppose that makes a good mix where you're trying to keep both sides of it, happy, really.
Yeah, and that gives us a reach into like what other people are doing and other companies that we can get involved with to do stuff, and keeps us modern, current sort of thing.
Yeah, is it the same sort of trend though? Off island, where you go to other places where there aren't quite so many involved in agriculture, but still involved in the federations of young farmers?
I think it's quite area specific, really. I suppose it depends what committees they've had over the years. I think lots of clubs meet once a week, and then lots of clubs are demising off as well. I think it just depends on area and what the sort of what their farming culture is around that area and how they're sort of like getting on with it.
But it's with like the non-farming events too, Finlay. You got the public speaking, the awards for the club of the year. They're accumulated over the whole of the summer. Some of the events that they have to go to for the club of the year, what would they have to do for that?
So it's like we've got like the public speakings, as you mentioned, field day, Stubbs quiz, all the stock judgings as well. So we have there's 4-5 stock judgings a year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a huge amount of events each year to organise. So Bryony, you're going to be a really busy person getting them organised. But like you say, having Finlo as an agricultural person can connect all of the mainstay events such as the stock judgings and such like, but then also bring it all together to put it to the community. You've got some great ideas coming forward with the, hopefully in the future, with planting of the saplings. I thought that was a great idea, Bryony.
Yeah, hopefully. Basically what they do over at National, which is the sort of federation for the UK, they've set up a scheme with the Woodland Trust, so they can plant trees basically to sort of protect the future. So we'd quite like to introduce that. We've spoken about it a bit, so doing that over here, you know, giving something back as well. So hopefully we'll get on with that. Yeah.
And Stevie, the vice chairperson.
Good day to you.
You've been involved with the Young Farmers for many, many years, and coming onto the federation, it must be a bit of an achievement for you.
Yeah, well, a lot of my past family, not past members, they're still my current family members, but they previously also have held the position as vice and chairman of the federation. I have been involved for a number of years, but as me and you went to school together, Kirree, I'd hate to say just how many years I have been in it for. I wouldn't want to give anything away. But previously, the past few years, I have thought more about becoming vice chairman, but with my partner, Hayley, being the previous secretary, it wasn't going to happen. We've got 2 young children, 2-year-old twins, and to be able to split our time so we could both go to events was never going to happen. But now, with Hayley stepping down, it was like a natural progression for me to step up and become vice for the federation.
You'll have seen quite a few changes, I suppose, over the years then, Stevie, have you?
I have seen 1 or 2 sunrises before, Simon, but yeah, there has a lot changed in the Young Farmers. From when I first started to have an event, you were given a date once a month at a club meeting in a parish hall, and everyone met at an event, and you wouldn't see people until the next event, and you wouldn't connect with people the same. But now with social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, all these other ways of talking to people, it's a lot easier to organise an event, and you can almost, like, we've got a meeting tomorrow night and it was only organised the other day, but it's just so much easier these days to try and bring people together. Previously it was never like that. You had to meet people either at the Farmers Arms on a Sunday afternoon, evening, or you could see them once a month at the club meetings. And yeah, there has been a lot of change within the Young Farmers movement. Even events though, such as the field days and things like that. I mean, previously there's a lot of older types of events which we don't do these days. You got to try and keep it modern. You got to try and, you know, keep with the times of what people are wanting to do. Silly things like what people are putting in the baking in the field day. Yeah, like, you've just got to put modern classes into certain things, and you need to, let's say, move with the times and keep people interested.
Well, Finlow, Eden Valley was mentioned. It's not some sort of cheese or butter, is it?
No, it's a young farmers club coming over from away. It's always good to get people over, meet new people and talk about what they do and have a good time out round the town and stuff.
Yeah, do their events change? Are they a lot different events that they do compared to the Isle of Man Federation?
Not too much, because there's like a standard sort of federation list of events that you can pick off. So I think they're a bit more not professional, but a bit more proactive on like stock judging and stuff and public speaking than we are. Maybe like they take it a lot more seriously, and they can go up quite high to like be the best stock judger out of all of them in the United Kingdom or whatever.
The exchange trips through was a good way of meeting new people as well from other clubs. We had a previous exchange. We had Northumbria Young Farmers come over at the end of April this year, and then our Northern Area Competitions weekend was held just above Ponteland, above Newcastle, and that was the hosting club was Northumberland. And to meet people before you go to a competition like that, across the water, and to have some connections and have people that you can speak to about various things is always good to have. So hopefully with meeting with Eden Valley this weekend when they come over, take them on a farm walk, get to meet a few people, and then in future when we're going to events in their area, they'll host us. It's just good to meet people and have connections in different parts of the UK.
Yeah, and you're not inviting them over at Christmas time for the big event that's growing and growing?
Yeah,
the tractor run.
Yeah, the Christmas tractor run. It was something we organised last year. Charlie Corkle, our previous chairman, it was his little baby, that, and it was kind of a last minute thing really, and we're almost victims of our own success. We never realised it was going to be as big as it was.
It was unbelievable, the amount of people watching and supporting, spectating.
We did.
Public didn't moan too much?
No, I don't think there was any. I think the only moan was that people didn't see enough of us where we were. that was one of the problems we had. We were on quite a short time scale, really, because we were trying to stop in different places for people to see, and we weren't staying around long enough. There's people coming out of the houses as we were pulling away, and I don't think growing up on farms and in the farm community, we appreciate kids seeing tractors and just the spectacle that it was of all these tractors covered in lights. It's like the Isle Man's own version of the Coca-Cola wagon going round, and I think because last year we realised after the event how popular it was, we've set a lot of things in motion this year. There's been a lot of people trying to get on board with it. This year's 2 charities that we're going to put the money to that we raise are going to be Isle Man Breast Cancer, because that's close to the hearts of members in the Young Farmers, and the other charity is Isle Listen. Isle Listen, I don't know if many people have heard of it, but it's a mental health awareness in youngsters. They have the same catchment age range as the Young Farmers have. That's why it's very appropriate for us. Mental health awareness in farming is something that goes unseen. You just think farmers just get on with it. They get on with everything else every day. But to have an organisation like Isle Listen, which is, although in the Young Farmers people do talk, you're not always comfortable talking to your friends about problems. So Isle Listen is an organisation which we feel is good to get on board with. So if people in the farming community do want to speak to somebody about problems they've got going on, especially youngsters, it's there, and that's why that's one of our chosen charities.
And obviously, if there's anybody that's interested in donating, get in touch in the usual channels, and keep an eye on our social media pages for updates on it.
We've got Sponsor a Tractor, and that's not just as an individual. There's corporate sponsorships we've having for that, and that's so you can have your name on a tractor. So when it goes past, there is already companies that have put money towards tractors, and there isn't a set amount you got to put towards corporate, and businesses. They're obviously putting more in what an individual will.
Yeah, it's such a great idea, Stevie, and so many people can get involved with this as well. Come out on the streets and see them go by, and it's such a great movement, the Young Farmers, and it has so much going on. And Bryony, you've got more events coming up too.
Yeah, with the Christmas tractor run. And then obviously we've got the Boxing Day, we've got netball tournament into clubs, so all the clubs put like mixed teams in and play against each other, so it's just a good sort of afternoon for a laugh out, really. And then by the time sort of Christmas is over and done with, people are full-blown concert prep then for our annual Young Farmers concert, which is on the 12th, 13th and 14th of March this year, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so it's obviously very, very busy time, but it's always a fun time, and we're really well supported with our great sponsors, Conister Bank, so they're with us again this year, which will be obviously very useful. And
well, you've mentioned it now. The people will be queuing outside the sea terminal tomorrow now, aren't they, for tickets?
Well, yeah, exactly. They're always there. Sort of last year we did it the first year where we sent Young Farmers members down to support them and provide tea and coffee and cakes for them, because they're there queuing from like 8 p.m.
the night before.
Yeah, the night before, aren't they? So,
Wow,
we've got a few meetings to set up the ticket sales and things. So dates of ticket releases will be out soon, so people can look out for that.
Who's the best netball player?
Oh, Hannah Moore, obviously.
Is she?
Yes.
Any of the blokes any good?
Oh,
They are actually.
Yeah, they're more competitive than
Yeah.
the girls. Just you wait till this Sunday.
Yeah.
It's more like rugby than netball when they get
Yeah,
going.
it's supposed to be
Boisterous.
non-contact, but things change then.
It is good that Conister have got on board again this year for our principal sponsor for the Young Farmers. Sponsor for the Young Farmers for the concert is a massive thing, and without them, I don't think we could put the show on. Well, we couldn't put the show on. I did hear a rumour that Andy Bass himself might actually come down early in the morning when we're queuing for tickets and buy coffees for people himself.
And Hannah, last but least, anything else going on?
Yep, so another event that's coming up is the Prime Stock Show. So I think it's a week on Monday. We'll head to Knockalo to judge the live prime stock, and then later on in the week we'll head up to the abattoir to have a look at the carcasses all hung up. We're very grateful for the support of those behind allowing the Young Farmers to do that. I know it's not just as straightforward as everyone thinks. So yeah, that's a
So there's
up-and-coming day.
plenty going on this next couple of months.
Yeah,
so definitely get involved with the young farmers is all we can say.
Yeah, of course. Anyone's welcome to come to any of our events and have a go. So, it's not all, you don't have to be a member to have a go, but obviously we'd welcome you to join up to any of our 4 clubs.
That was a very enthusiastic Young Farmers Federation Committee for 2020, and that was Finlo Kirree, the chairman, Stevie Corran, the vice chairman, Bryony Neal, the secretary, and Hannah Moore, the treasurer.
Really sound enthusiastic about trying to get the ideas from the people who are involved in the clubs, aren't they?
They are. They're hungry for new ideas, and they're so determined to raise money for all of the local Isle of Man charities, and they do a great job in that with the Young Farmers Concert, which is only around the corner, like they said. But the events on the run up to Christmas and getting everybody into the spirit, from agriculture events like the Prime Stock Show, the tractor run with all the bright lights, and getting everybody involved, young and old.
Indeed. Well, we'll leave it there for Countryside for this week. We've tried to cram in as much as possible. Don't forget, if you've missed parts of the programme, you can download the podcast. You can subscribe and download it free of charge at Manx Radio's website, www.manxradio.com, and you can get all the information about current and previous shows as well. For this week, though, that's it. We'll be back at the same time next week with more from the countryside. So for me, Simon Clark.
And me, Kirree Kermit.
We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.